Toledo Biz Connect TV proudly presents this episode of Business Sense, Making Sense of the Business World, with your host, CPA Ron Brangham.
Hi, I'm Ron Brangham, Certified Public Accountant. I got some really interesting information for you today. Well, it may not be that interesting, but it is very important for the business owner who is trying to determine what type of business entity should he choose for his company. The choice of business entity by a business owner is a very critical decision. It determines how the business is going to be taxed and whether his personal assets can be exposed to business liabilities or obligations. Well, there are four different types of business entities: corporation, limited liability company known as LLC, partnership, and sole proprietor. The corporations and LLCs are legal entities that you set up with the state. I highly advise that you use a lawyer to do this. Corporations and LLCs can be formed by one or more individuals. A partnership is two or more individuals operating a business together, and a sole proprietor is one individual operating a business by himself. In this episode, what I want to do is explain how do you protect your personal assets from your business. Whenever you're setting up a small business, the business owner's personal assets can be used to satisfy business obligations. Well, we don't want that. We definitely want to make sure that our personal assets are protected. So how do you go about that? Okay? Well, you got to make sure your business is set up as a legally separate entity. Sole proprietorships and partnerships are not legally separate from their business owners, and therefore the business owner's personal assets are exposed to business liabilities. Again, we don't want that. So my advice, don't set your business up as a sole proprietorship or partnership. Set it up as a legally separate entity, and therefore it either a corporation or LLC. Also, whenever you're setting up either a corporation or an LLC, you got to make sure that the business assets and obligations are separate from your personal assets and personal obligations. You don't want what's called commingling of funds. So you got to make sure all the business assets are in the business name. You have a separate business checking account. You have separate personal accounts, and don't run your personal assets or personal expenses through the business. My choice for small businesses is an LLC. That is my preferred type for setting up small businesses. And there are several reasons. The LLC is a lot easier to set up. They're usually cheaper to set up, and they're significantly easier to maintain. Corporations have a lot of rules and regulations that small business owners don't need. The LLC also has a lot more flexibility with it. In fact, the IRS doesn't actually recognize the LLC as a entity. So you get to choose what type of entity you want to be taxed at. We'll actually explain that in our next episode, so come back and check that out. I also advise that you get with a professional tax advisor to determine what type of business entity is best for you. Everybody's individual circumstances are different, and that can make a determination as to what type of entity you should be. At Brangham Associates, we do offer a free half-hour consultation to any new prospective client. You can also visit our website at brangham.com. BRANGHAM.com.
Toledo Biz Connect TV thanks you for watching this episode of Business Sense with Ron Brangham. For more great information, visit Ron's website at www.brangham.com. Also browse the other shows found right here at Toledo Biz Connect TV.